Hello beautiful people, welcome back. I'm on the farm. Today we're going to do ZZ plant propagation. Alright, so I did this in another video. I showed that I was able to just take a cut in, one leaf, and plant it, and this will eventually turn into a ZZ plant. I purchased a ZZ plant for $35. You hear they're at $35 for one plant. This was the one plant. And I chopped it apart, took its root cutting off, and I turned it into 4. And so that was my way, and I figured, you know, eventually another stem would grow up here, another stem would grow maybe up here, and they would kind of like propagate themselves. But I had one of the stems, just like this one, dying on me. So I'll kind of get into that, why that is happening, and why I don't have the correct soil for that. Actually, let's just do it right now. So this plant needs to be a little drier and not stay as moist as your prototypical house plant. This is more like aloe. Aloe is like more of a deserty plant. So it wants to have more sand, something that won't just stay so wet all the time if it dries out. So I barely even water these plants. And they stay a lot healthier if it's not just sitting with wet feet the whole time. One of the reasons I do this plant, just in case you didn't see me on the other one, is it cleans the air. It's an air purifying plant. That's what I have on the farm, is 4 different air purifying plants. The snake plant, spider, and pothos. Dang. This one was a spider. Okay. And pothos. And all of those easily propagate themselves. This was an old spider, and here comes the new guy. So it'll take another, it just shoots up, and you'll probably, if I potted this up again, here you go. So there's another one. So this is actually 3 plants. I could actually take this guy out, cut it, boom, take this guy out, cut it, and I could have 3 separate spiders right there. Or snakes, my bad. But all these plants are like super easy to propagate. And I'm going to do probably a video on all of them, real quick ones, just because these ones are super easy. But you can even see this guy right here. These are little roots coming out. This is wanting to root. So the pothos in general just kind of wants to like spread out, and then this will hit the soil. It'll just then take root there, and take over that home. All right, I'm getting too far off track. So air purifying plant, and you can even see it. So I have these ones in my cannabis grow room. I do cannabis video if anyone's ever interested in that stuff. Feel free to check out more stuff on this channel. But I do mushrooms, microgreens, cannabis grow, and now that we're getting into winter, I'm all dying down on the outside from the farm tip. So, but yeah, this keeps the air clean, and you can see just the amount of dust that is gathered on these leaves. And I clean them probably once every 2 weeks, maybe. I try, try once every 2 weeks, maybe once closer to like once every month. And I'll come in, I'll take a cloth, and I'll wipe these on. You can just see how much it is actually collected, how much dust and dirt, whatever dust this has collected. Beautiful plant. So, all right. So back to where I was. So this one, I just had one of these stems falling over, and I ended up just saying, oh, okay, you know what? I've heard from the snake plant, for instance, that you can just take a cutting. Make a cutting in the snake plant, and I've actually tried this, and I didn't have it work with the first snake plant successfully, but maybe my soil was too wet or something. But I've heard that you can take a snake plant, like cut it like here, and then it'll actually, and then plant this into the ground, and it'll grow roots from there. I didn't have success on the first time I did that from a snake plant, the snake plant situation, but I did have success thinking that this was a similar leaf, you know, it had a similar feel to the snake. But yeah, so I had a dying stem like this one, for instance, and I pretty much just was like, okay, well, that's already almost going to die, so I'm going to sacrifice it, and I just took a clipping of the leaf. I went like that. And I had some extra potting soil kind of chilling around, and so I just put it in the potting soil. And as you can see, it started growing little roots. And a little module grew, a little ball, I don't know if it's called module, but I call it module. Sounds good. Yeah, calloused up and then grew some roots out of it. So that's what I would imagine. I'm not even 100% positive on this. So this whole video might be a waste of your frickin' time and my time, but you know, they say you reap what you sow. So we're going into winter right now, and I'm eventually gonna be selling all these plants. You know, I started one spider plant, one snake plant, one pothos plant, and I'm up to about 20 to 40 of each of them. And I sold probably 5 to 10 of each of them this year out on my little next to my fridge outside. So and I'm going to sell them cheaper than you can ever get them at a store. So that's the goal, is to try to, you know, have that be a little bit percentage of my gross. So so there you go. So there's the ZZ cutting. It ended up rooting itself. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to take these. I'm going to sacrifice a bunch of them. I'm actually going to leave probably this one, just in case this doesn't work. And I'm going to take these 2, and we're going to just plant these. Plant all of these. Now that I found out it worked, why not? I try to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27 plants. We'll see if I do that. I have a bunch of pots lined up that we're going to fill up, and we're going to see if this time next year, or maybe even spring, summer, I don't know when they'll be ready to actually sell. But I want them to be maybe more like that to sell. They don't need to be full size. I could probably sell this guy for $5 to 10 bucks, somewhere in there. Which I bought mine for 35, but mine was, again, it was a more mature plant. It was something closer like this. Again, it was all of these in one, so it was, yeah, a little bit more mature, probably a couple of years old, to be honest. But yeah, we can share the abundance with people. So let's get into it. We got, this is what we're going to use for the medium, growing medium. I use peat. Some people might hate, but it's very cheap, easily accessible, no nutrition from what I've learned in peat. So I do add some kind of potting mix, and this mycorrhiza is clutch. So this should be able to feed it as it turns into a plant, from one little leaf cutting into a plant. And then, you know, so this has, we'll make it, the only problem with this is it's not going to be able to stay in the soil for too long to have like successful growth. So I will be getting some kind of sandy soil, more like I said, more deserty, more stuff that you need for aloe vera, for an aloe plant. Right. So the peat is really just, you know, to make it so we have a bunch, or we have more. It's cheap. So more growing medium, and then so we use mostly peat. And we do worry still about stems. So, you know, when we're cleaning through here, we don't want to have this in here. We'll throw that at the top of a different plant. Oh, horsetail. I shouldn't, okay, don't get me on a side tangent on horsetail. Beautiful plant. High in silica. It's one of my favorite plants. Okay, don't get off sidetrack then. But maybe someday I'll do a little video on how beautiful horsetail is. One of the most nutritional plants in the world in my mind. So, base of peat. Get some of the stems out, or the woody material out, because the woody material in your growing medium just make it harder for the roots to just grow with ease. They have to go around stuff. They'll hit something and be like, oh, what's this side under there? So peat with a little bit of nice potting mix together. And now we'll have some nutrition with the peat in our medium. So I could have done this before, but I did actually want to speak to why I would start this just from a cheaper standpoint, rather than going and getting a whole bunch of the sandy, you know, more cactus soil, something that, I guess for lack of a better term, what cactuses want to grow in, or more drier plants like the aloe. But that's, I'm assuming, is going to be more expensive. I've never even shopped it yet. And for all I know, it's actually cheaper, but I would imagine that it's more expensive because this is way more accessible than any of that kind of mixes would be. So, all right. So more peat. We're just gonna fill this up so we have make sure we have enough. I don't have to go back in it. One more vine mix. Mix her up. Again, if we're feeling any sticks in there, we're going to take them out. Just throw them as a mulch on top of one of our other plants. But they will steal some nitrogen too if they're trying to break down in your potting, or in your pot. So yeah, we'll break them out. Yep. Water. This one actually might get not as wet as normal. Normally I would make it so you can like see a little drip coming out. That's kind of what like the rule of thumb is for seed starting or anything like that with potting mix. It's just like squeeze, get one drip out. This one actually leave kind of dry. Okay, not dry, but not as moist, I would say, as your typical cutting would go in or something like that, because I will be putting it in this little humid area. So I have a mushroom grow right there. The mushroom grow leaks its humidity. I leave the door open for the lion's mane, so the humidity comes out the door and goes under here and kind of just floods this. My fan here is for microgreen growth, so I make sure my fan is, you know, halfway through my room and just blowing that way, so that my humidity can still come this way. Because yeah, there will have enough humidity on the top. You know, a lot of people then would dome it or something like that to keep the humidity. Once they plant it and then they put a dome over it. I don't need that jam, since I have free humidity flowing through the room. Alright, so yeah, it's not like drippy wet, but I don't think I want this too wet. And I'm learning all this, man, so there might be better ways to do this. But this is how I've been learning how to propagate and how to do certain plants. And some of this is trial and error, and I learn. And honestly, some of the reason that I'm creating some of these videos are I can go back, or even like my farm update. I could literally go back now next year and say, hey, what date was that the freaking snow came? And I can like pinpoint it, because I don't write things down. Like a lot of farmers will say, oh, write everything down and mark everything and label everything, and I got time for that. I got a lot of shit going on. The more things I throw out there, you know, I do my best I can. And that's kind of one of the shortcuts that I've always done, is I really don't like label lots of stuff or have a log or a diary, or it's part of the fun to me too. It's year after year. I'm not a big history guy, or like thinking in the past, or even thinking in the future. I'm a moment to moment kind of dude. I live in flow. But there we go. Okay, enough stories. I am going to bottom water, so that's going to be one thing clutch on this. I want to make sure I have a nice tray. I recommend heavy trays. Those cheap trays suck. This is a Farmer's Friend tray. Or wait, not Farmer's Friend. Bootstrap Farmer. They have these awesome trays. There we go. That's one thing I can teach you. I invested in a bunch of those crappy trays at first. The first couple years of my farming journey. This is about year 8, 7 or 8. I invested in it was a small investment at that time, in some of those like really flimsy trays. Man, they all break by year 1 or 2, and then they're all cracking down the edges, and so you can't even bottom water because the water's running out of it. These trays, Bootstrap Farmer, they lasted me already 3 or 4 years. Maybe even 5. Something like that. But they're gonna be going forever. They're nice, dense, durable freaking trays. Shout out Bootstrap Farmer. Yeah, let's fill these up, but I do want to make sure I'm on point. So sometimes you might see me not bottom watering. I always try to bottom water if I could. It does help. One, the roots would want to stretch to get to the bottom if you don't fill the water up enough compared to putting water in on the top. If you don't water enough, the water then you do water on the top, the water maybe gets down to here, and then the roots feel comfortable that they don't need to stretch. So then the plant might have shallower roots than you actually want, because they're being, lack of a better term, lazy, and they don't want to stretch down to the bottom, or they don't need to, I guess. Maybe they'll say that. Desire. They don't have a desire to stretch to the bottom. But if you're bottom watering and you underwater, just in case you do, so let's say the water moisture is like up to here, and then this is all dry, the roots are gonna know that they need to get to that bottom water, or the water, and then they'll stretch farther. And you have better root system. So, there's a little thing on there. Where'd I put it? There we go. We're just gonna fill these up. We're gonna try to make 20 plants here. 20 CZs. I can sell them for $5 a piece, $10 a piece. This 1 hour of work might be $200. I can go $10 a piece, 20 plants, $200. Not to mention the other 3 or 4 plants. So then people will start. You can't just have one thing out there. You know, you gotta have a bunch of things. So one thing I did learn through my whole process is convenience. Man, these grocery stores and everything, they're one-stop shops. That's the thing I'm battling right now. Is it's hard to get people to come for my 4 things when, you know, even if I badass mushrooms, some good ass lettuce, 0 chemicals. Man, people can go get their lettuce and mushrooms, and they might sacrifice it being chemical laden and not as quality of mushrooms, just because they can get like 6 more things at the store that they need. You know, it's a known thing. People like one-stop shops. Just from an ease standpoint, you don't gotta get out of your car, you don't gotta drive to other places, just go get everything, go home. And people are even blowing up Amazon these days because they don't have to go anywhere. So people like convenience. So I'm fighting the convenience factor with my small farm, but eventually, you know, the more stuff I have, the more people will actually have more desire to come because they can have more options available of things that they can get. So that's why on my farm I'm looking to produce about 70 different items. I will centralize or go on a certain amount just so I can have to be able to bang some stuff out in bulk to be able to make the farm successful and profitable. Otherwise, if I'm just spread too thin, it's just too much work in so many different areas that $5 here, $5 there don't matter. I actually, you know, now I got 3 grocery stores. I have to be able to, you know, so the grocery stores are focused obviously on my mushrooms, microgreens, and lettuces. But then, you know, to have them at my farm, so that's different. They're already at the grocery store where they don't need all those other things. But at my farm, I want to be able to bring people in, so I want to have a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to be eyeing plant milks, kimchi, sauerkrauts, you know, just all the regular veg too, radishes, you name it. Other than big stuff, you know, I'm on a half acre on my yard or on my property, so I'm really like price per square foot kind of thing is what I have to do with all small crops. That's why lettuce is my jam, because I can take a lettuce that grows in 50 days. I can have it 25 days in, like under my lights, and then 25 days out. So I can pretty much almost get to full maturity, and then I put it out in the garden and have my rotations in, and then, you know, I get 2 or 3 cuts off that too, compared to a broccoli plant. You know, broccoli plant's like this big, you get one freaking harvest, 90 days. It's like, it makes no sense on my for my farm. So, all right, here we go. We got 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. And we're gonna start annihilating these plants. So, boom. I'm just gonna go like that. And push down and make it so it's nice and tight around that area. One thing I did want to make sure I was doing smaller pots. So it doesn't make sense to have these massive pots where you're using a whole bunch of potting soil to potentially waste. So, you know, what if these don't take, or what if these don't work out? Then I just now wasted X amount more of potting soil compared to, you know, now it wouldn't even hurt. I was like no potting soil to be able to try to make, you know, 15, 20 of these guys. So that's it. This is really it. I'm hoping these are gonna take just like this one did, and then this was the winner chicken dinner. Dang it. Winner mushroom dinner. That proved to me that it can start growing roots. So thank you, guy. Now you taught me that. Ooh, oh, new idea. I was just gonna totally ravage that plant. I'm actually gonna leave this plant. And now this one, because it already probably has a nice root foundation, this one probably will re-heal itself. And I can keep that plant instead of completely, but I will leave 2 of these on it instead of just 1. I have a little bare little one guy. I don't know why I want to leave 2, but someone's telling me leave 2. Intuitive feeler. Let's listen to our intuition. I'm gonna leave that guy. So that's, you know, more of an adult rooted plant. Why completely kill this one to sacrifice for all these just in case this doesn't work? But again, I think it's gonna work. That's why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this is going to work since that one worked and it rooted. I would imagine since it rooted, it will turn into a plant. I know, crazy. Yeah. Boom. Alright, and so let me go over one last thing kind of that might make sense to me. I don't know if people will notice it. So obviously this one I won't be using. These are almost dead anyways. That's actually, we should try this one. Maybe these 2. And I'll know. It's always good to experiment. Boom. We're gonna use the ones, these ones I almost for sure won't take. They're pretty much dead. But these 2, they still have some green growing through them. So we're gonna plant those 2. And I'll be able to keep my eyes, I'll remember that. Keep my eyes on those guys. And say, hey, maybe these ones will come back to life. And I'll know next time that it's not a lost cause to try to save some of them. Since I only have 15, I'm just gonna do this 15. I don't need to do them anymore. I'm gonna leave the top foliage up and just leave the bottom. And oh geez, this thing pulled like right out. So this one obviously was about to die. We're gonna clean these up a little bit. Boom. And we're gonna plant them. Experiments are good, man and women. I don't know why I say man and woman. Experiments are good in farming. Kind of one of my favorite things. Just learning. That's probably the reason you're here. One of your favorite things is to learn. So grateful to have you here. Throw a like, comment, subscribe, all that good jam. If you may, if you desire. If not, and you're just here for the fun of it, or the single one, bless you. I appreciate the view. Trying to grow this thing. Goal is on my farm, 2,500 farms. So this is my first one. Got plenty of years in my life to rock and get more and more. Look at how perfect that worked out. Just this one, and now I filled it all out. I don't even need to touch those other ones. I might actually, I'm gonna probably let you go soon. It's not a 30-minute video and people are gonna be sick of it. I'm probably actually gonna do this one. Probably fill up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. I'll do 10 more pots. We're gonna leave these guys. That's dead, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna leave this. So I could just chop this and we'll say, oh, it's dead. And for all we know, this is gonna come back. Now that it didn't have so much foliage to give its energy to. That one. So we're good. Hey, I'm gonna do 10 more, but I'm gonna let you go so you don't have to just sit and watch me do 10 more of these because it's just be redundant. You don't really need to see it. If you have any questions, feel free to holler. Again, blessed for having you here. ZZ Plants propagation. Hopefully we can make 15 times, let's say I'll just do 750. So 15 times 10, 150 bucks. Half of that is, oh man, why do I got me doing math right now? 150 bucks, 75. So in between that, it's like 110, 150 bucks. Dang, I shouldn't have showed how awesome I am at quick math right there. Actually, I'm pretty good at math. I'm just trying to think of it on the fly, and it's weirdly, I don't know why I'm getting down. Let's just do 10 plants. Okay, I don't even care about the math. You don't care about the math. Nobody cares about the math. We're just doing it to have fun, and we're eventually gonna make some money on these plants. Bless you. Thank you. Have a great one. Peace.